Welcome to Bella&Goch. Today we are exploring the birth of Consolidated Outland and its founder Silas Koerner, a trillionaire with an ambitious vision for space travel economics within Star Citizen universe lore. Imagine this. Not long after his rise in wealth at age 16, through shrewd investments across various industries from fish farming to mining electronics, companies like Tricross Lines benefiting directly. The billionaire ventures into astronautics with a personal passion for ship design and spaceflight. This leads him not just on Earth, but outwards towards his ultimate creation, Consolidated Outland. But why stop at mere investments? Silas Koerner's journey to Consolidated Outland wasn't just about wealth. It was a quest for innovation. As his collection of spacecraft designs grew, so did the desire for something more efficient than what other manufacturers offered. This led him down an unconventional path, where he began designing and producing ships like never before on Bremen by leveraging cutting-edge technology combined with affordability in mind. Consider how Consolidated Outland's Mustang, a ship that shattered conventions under Koerner's exact direction since its conceptualization, became the backbone of many spacefarers seeking economical alternatives. How does Consolidated Outland fit into the broader tapestry of space travel in Star Citizen universe? Silas Koerner's unapologetic push against established norms challenges players and corporations alike. By introducing models like Mustang, which are not just low-cost, but also high utility, he directly addresses a key issue within the UEE, affordable exploration, without compromising on performance or safety standards for spacefaring citizens seeking adventure beyond their home systems of Stanton, Hurston Dynamics, and Pyro. Through Koerner's relentless pursuit to disrupt industry status quo, Consolidated Outland doesn't just produce ships. It redefines the possibilities of what these vessels can mean for individuals who dare to dream big. In the shadowed backdrop of Stalford's bustling industry, Silas Koerner envisioned more than just wealth. He dreamt of accessibility. The year was 2947 when Consolidated Outland emerged from his foresight as a beacon for affordable spacecraft design amidst the elite-dominated manufacturing sector. As the first batches rolled off Consolidated Outland's assembly lines, whispers turned into roars. The Mustang was not just a ship. It became synonymous with democratizing space exploration. By late 2947 and early onset of 50, over half our colonies had commissioned at least one Mustang vessel for their ventures beyond the stars, disrupting corporate giants like Arc Corp, who watched in a mix of envy and concern. The Mustang's entry was not merely an innovation. It upended the very foundations of corporate spaceflight economics. Where Arc Corp had once dominated, now smaller factions and independent entities, like Bounty Hunters Guild, or even disenfranchised groups like Xenothreat, found themselves eyeing opportunities in a market previously theirs to conquer only with prohibitive costs behind silicon gates. In late November of the year 2947, an early onset of 50, over half our colonies were already integrated with Consolidated Outland's Mustang, a design that not only slashed costs, but also offered unparalleled versatility. Where once Arc Corp had monopolized shipbuilding through their heavy-handed tactics and high prices, Silas Koerner, the self-styled rebel trillionaire behind Consolidated Outland, had turned the tables with his Mustang models that were both economical for consumers and a threat to industry giants. The airwaves of Stalford hummed with discussions about this upheaval, as spacefarers debated between affordable rides on Koerner's ships versus costly ones from traditional manufacturers like Arc Corp or the Tricross Lines. Koerner's daring entrance into the spaceflight market with Consolidated Outland was more than just a business venture. It sparked an industry-wide upheaval. Traditional manufacturers like Arc Corp, once untouchable titans of shipbuilding on Bremen and beyond its shores, found themselves scrambling to adapt or risk obsolescence in the face of Consolidated Outland's Mustang ships that were not only cheaper, but also boasted design versatility. As these events unfolded within a year following the Mustang debut, smaller factions and independent entities began aligning with Koerner against established norms. The sheer breadth of Consolidated Outland's reach and influence was further underscored by the year-round operation, not just in its Mustang ships, but also within Koerner's own collection housed deep beneath Stalford. This underground museum, a labyrinthine array dedicated to Silas Koerner's visionary designs, spanning from the infernal Freelancer down through the Gladiator and into more contemporary models like Marsnick Roman IV, each piece telling its story of corporate defiance or technological advancement. Visitors here were not mere onlookers. They engaged with history, questioning where space travel economy stands now that Koerner's designs had democratized accessibility to shipbuilding across factions and economic divides. The year was late November. The crisp air of Stalford carried whispers and rumors as Consolidated Outland prepared to unveil their latest marvel. As the clock strikes midnight on November's last day, Stalford's underground museum transforms into a sea of anticipation. Silas Koerner stands at center stage beneath holographic projections casting light over the Mustang, his latest brainchild and perhaps most controversial yet practical design to date. Buzzing with speculation among those who have gathered, they wonder, could this be the key to democratizing spaceflight, with Koerner's name synonymous with luxury in one breath and revolutionary innovation on its heels? Who else but Silas could turn these high-stakes expectations into reality within a room where every corner tells tales of corporate might? In the afterglow of Silas Koerner's unveiling, Stalford finds itself ensnared in a web of reflection and critique. The Mustang has not only arrived, it's landed into daily discourse. Its formidable presence at bargain prices ignites both marvelous potential for those tethered to tight budgets, but also fear among purveyors like ArcCorp, whose grip on shipbuilding wanes with each affordably crafted hull that slips silently from Koerner's vision into reality. The whispers no longer speak of mere rumors. They are becoming a clarion call for change within the spaceflight sector. But at what cost? This is not merely about economics, it's an ethical quandary. Can luxury be both accessible and sustainable when pitted against tradition's steadfast walls? But what exactly prompted Silas Koerner, already a formidable name in the cosmos of corporate spaceflight innovation with his own company, Consolidated Outland, and its diverse investments, from fish farming to terraforming tech? Why now does he choose Stalford as not just a mere launch pad, but an arena for grandstanding, introducing the Mustang in the dead of winter when public interest is already at peak due to colony expansion demands? This unveiling occurs amidst chilling winds and frosty reception rooms that belie his usual sunny disposition. One might wonder, how has the unveiling influenced not just consumer markets, but also UEE's internal politics? The Mustang's entrance into a market once ruled by heavyweights like ArcCorp is more than disruptive. It signals an era where corporate giants must adapt or perish. It brings to light issues of worker treatment within these spaceships factories and the broader implications for Stalford's economy as it grapples with balancing industrial growth against environmental stewardship. But where does this leave entities like Hurston Dynamics and Microtech, whose influence over Stalford's economic landscape has been as substantial yet unchallenged until now? One wonders if Koerner's Mustang will inspire a ripple of innovation across the galaxy or ignite turbulent competition within. Will this upheaval benefit those who have long-awaited cheaper, more accessible means to traverse these star-spanning colonies and their systems? The moment had come for Consolidated Outland to present its Mustang at Stalford. With Silas Koerner's grand entrance, under the scrutiny of a crowd rife with industry veterans and eager newcomers alike, one could not help but query, how would this interloper from outside their ranks alter an ecosystem where giants like Hurston Dynamics reigned supreme? The Mustang promised affordability without skimping on quality, but at what cost to the established order that had long dictated Stalford's economic reality? One wonders if Koerner's bold venture would spell salvation or upheaval for those whose livelihood depended upon these traditional manufacturers. In the days following Silas Koerner's Mustang reveal, whispers turned into conversations as shop owners and shipbuild laborers alike pondered their futures. The promise of lower-cost vessels did not escape notice. Yet beneath this lure lay a more unsettling reality, a threat to the status quo that had long ensconced companies like Hurston Dynamics within Stalford's fabric. Here, where once stood giants, now loomed questions. Could Koerner's ventures truly challenge these behemoths without displacing those who served them? The answer remained shrouded in the uncertainty of change, a tempest stirred by innovation, but threatening to engulf traditions and economies built upon rigid structures. As weeks turned into months, it became evident that Koerner's Mustang was more than a mere product. It sparked an unstoppable movement towards transparency and fairer labor conditions within the shipbuilding industry. Traditional corporations watched as smaller entities like Microtech found their place in supply chains previously beyond reach due to prohibitive costs imposed by giants whose influence, while formidable, now faced existential questions. Adapt or perish became more than a possibility. It seemed an obligation on Earth's own timeline. Yet this shift bore no simple consequences. Koerner championed not only affordability, but also worker treatment and sustainable production methods that rattled the foundations of corporate dominion, previously unimagined by those who had long thrived under less scrup 063512798. The interstellar economies within Star Citizen's universe now hummed to a different frequency, one where survival and adaptability were paramount. But at what price? Did the Mustang represent just economic liberation, or merely another variable in an ever-complex cosmic equation of supply against tradition? In May of 2948, amidst the steel and glass towers that dominate Stalford's skyline, home not only to Consolidated Outland, but also a symbol of human industry's might, the Mustang made its grand debut. Silas Koerner stood at center stage in his underground museum turned launch pad as he introduced this affordable marvel designed for the common crew member rather than corporate elites alone. The atmosphere was electric with whispers and wonders. Onlookers from various sectors of spacefaring, pirates seeking new horizons within Pyro, to veteran traders hailing from Stanton's micro-tech sector, gathered in a sea of anticipation, their eyes wide not just at the spectacle, but also at its implications. How could such an innovative design shake foundations built over centuries? Within months following the Mustang's reveal, less than 6 since its glorious debut in Stalford, and just as quickly stirred ripples across space industries. The Bremen system saw corporations clenching fists. Giants like ArcCorp watched their monopoly wane under a breath of change that Koerner's Mustang had blown wide open, the air thick with the scent not just of innovation, but also upheaval, and all while whispers turned to conversations around fair labor practices. What does this mean for those who have endured long hours at high costs under these megacorps? By what measure will Koerner hold himself accountable in his quest against exploitation? The unfolding of events beyond the launchpad walls reveals a burgeoning truth, far more profound than mere economics at play. Silas Koerner's Mustang didn't just stand as an emblem for budget-friendly ships. It became beacon and battleground, wherein he took not only profit margins, but also the lives of laborers into account. His rallying cry against unfair practices echoed across systems like Hurston Dynamics, whose conditions once seemed infallible to many. This shift toward transparency in ship design wasn't just about price tags. It was a demand for dignity among workforces that had long been overlooked. A rallying cry not only heard, but also heeded within the halls of Stanton's Microtech and Hurston, spurring them to reevaluate their own practices. What happens when one corporation stands up against decades-old norms? How will these smaller entities adapt in this new era, ushered by Koerner's daring enterprise? On May 15, the year following his meteoric rise to trillionaire status, Silas Koerner takes center stage amidst an expectant crowd at Bremen's central hub. It's here that he unveils Consolidated Outland's latest brainchild, the Mustang, a ship designed not just for the stars, but with humanity in mind. Industry giants, who once ruled the Bremen skyways with their lavish designs and towering corporate headquarters, now find themselves questioned. Consolidated Outland's Mustang stands as a testament to what Koerner believes. Affordability should not come at the cost of quality or innovation. Here in May 2948, Bremen witnesses its skyline transform before their very eyes. As the days rolled into weeks, then months following Koerner's Mustang debut, fewer than 6 in all, the impact on Bremen's economy and workforce became increasingly clear. The promise of affordable yet cutting-edge vessels promised a future where not just tycoons, but also aspiring pilots could reach the stars without drowning under astronomical debts. This societal shift toward democratized spacefaring, once mere whispers in backyard garrets and political rallies, now resonates through every facet of life here on Bremen. Today marks a pivotal moment for Bremen and the wider universe. On May 14th at precisely 3 in the afternoon UTC Standard Time, Silas Koerner revealed his latest masterpiece, not just another ship design, but a symbol of change itself. How did he manage to do what others thought impossible? In under 6 months' time since its conception on paper and birth from steel into reality, the Mustang was born. Who would have thought that a single ship could ripple through the very fabric of Bremen's economy and societal structure? Here in May 2948, just as industries across Stalford were grappling with labor crises induced by rapid technological advancements. What began on this day has become more than a statement. It is now an economic catalyst, shifting the way goods are traded and explored. By mid-June of this year alone, just 5 weeks since the Mustang's debut, Bremen City Hall reports a 12% dip in unemployment amongst traditional shipbuilding sectors. It signals an economic shift. Isn't it fascinating how Koerner disrupted not just market niches, but entire industries with his vision for affordability and innovation? From the heart of Stalford to distant colonies, whispers grow louder each day. Who is this mastermind behind Consolidated Outland's success? As we journey back to May 15th at 3 in afternoon UTC Standard, an epochal moment unfolds with Silas Koerner's grand unveiling of Consolidated Outland's latest venture. A vessel that promises not just advancement, but a revolutionary leap towards democratizing interstellar travel. This ship stands as the embodiment of change. It is more than technology, for within its hull lies Koerner's relentless pursuit to make what was once beyond reach now attainable by many dreamers yearning not just for space, but also a slice of that boundless future he envisions. Founded in the industrious heartland of Stalford and rooted deeply within Redefines, Koerner's Consolidated Outland has already made history with its Mustang design. A testament to his vision when introduced just 5 weeks ago this year alone, amidst a transformative economic landscape marked by Bremen City Hall's report on the significant 12% drop in unemployment within shipbuilding sectors. Koerner's genius lies not merely in disrupting market niches, but redefining entire industries through his dual mastery of affordability and innovation. A legacy beginning with an inheritance that would see him emerge from mere billionaire to trillionaire over time, by investments as diverse yet consistently successful as they are ambitious. The decision Koerner made at 16 to funnel half his fortune into the nascent field of jump communications, and later in various industries ranging from fish farming to terraforming, has not only multiplied his wealth, but also expanded humanity's reach beyond Earth's orbit with every successful venture. Today marks yet another milestone as Koerner introduces this latest marvel. A ship that stands at the forefront of a new era where space is within everyone's grasp and dreams. Once distant celestial bodies in our skyward gaze are now closer than ever to becoming reality under his guidance. On May 15th at precisely 3 in the afternoon UTC Standard, a date now etched into every space pilot's calendar, Silas Koerner unveils Consolidated Outland's latest marvel, a vessel that promises to democratize interstellar travel. This isn't just another ship. It embodies an era of change, where once exclusive technology becomes accessible to the many who dreamed of reaching beyond Earth's orbit. By mid-June alone, just 5 weeks since the groundbreaking unveiling on May 15th in Bremen's heart, where whispers of change grow louder with each passing day. The introduction of Koerner's Mustang into even entry-level pilot collections heralds a sea shift, not just altering how ships are bought and sold, but redefining the very fabric of spacefaring societies across Stalford. ArcCorp's influence on commerce has waned in light of this accessible marvel. What does it mean for an industry built upon exclusivity when affordable innovation takes flight? Fast forward to now, a full month into May of the following year. The economic tremors felt since Koerner's announcement have culminated in a groundswell among Bremen citizens and beyond, challenging not just corporate monopolies, but old societal norms that spacefaring should be an elite privilege rather than universal aspiration for all who dare dream. Herein lies the question: how has Koerner's Mustang altered our cosmic course? We've seen a 30% drop in ship prices across major star systems, proving not just cost-effective, but also symbolizing hope that one day, life beyond Bremen will be within everyone's reach. Consolidated Outland stands as more than an innovator. It is the crucible of our cosmic democracy. On the bustling streets of Bremen's market district, just a day after Silas Koerner unveiled his Mustang, a ship destined to challenge convention and economics alike, crowds gather in earnest discussion or protest. Some herald it as revolutionary affordability for spacefaring citizens like never before witnessed on May 14th at precisely 3 o'clock UTC standard, while others express skepticism over its durability. Across town at the esteemed halls of Bremen University, a debate rages among students and faculty. The air is thick with theories on May 15th. Some argue that Koerner's Mustang could bridge socioeconomic divides in distant colonies. Others worry about its implications for traditional shipbuilding industries across the UEE system. One voice stands out: a senior student who envisions a future where space travel is not just an elite privilege, but accessible to all. In the shadow of Triple Cross Lines' once impenetrable dockyard on Bremen, a tale unfolds. By May 29th, rumors surface. Koerner's Mustang ships aren't all they seem to be. Whispers tell tales not just about their price, but questions surrounding the labor and materials used in these rapid production vessels. An undercover investigation sets its sights on unraveling a web of corporate shortcuts that could undermine Koerner's empire or his vision for democratized spacefaring. In 2947, a young Silas Koerner sat atop his family fortune, poised on the brink of an empire. Born billionaire with just shy of 100 million credits in hand, he was not content to merely amass wealth. Instead, he sought mastery over space and progress through innovation. In the heart of Bremen, amidst a sea of eager faces and palpable excitement on May 15th, a day that would etch itself into history for space enthusiasts. Here at Consolidated Outland's unveiling event, outside Triple Cross Lines, where one billionaire with just over 90 million credits in hand dared to challenge the very fabric of shipbuilding norms, Silas Koerner steps forward as he reveals his latest brainchild, the Mustang. This isn't merely a new spacecraft design. It's an affordable leap into luxury, aimed at democratizing deep space exploration and transportation for Bremen citizens. In the esteemed halls of Bremen University, where intellects converge to shape tomorrow's world on May 15th, students and scholars dissect Silas Koerner's Unveiling with a mix of skepticism and admiration, a symposium that birthed theories ranging from fear for the established manufacturers like Triple Cross Lines to aspirations toward technological democratization offered by Consolidated Outland's Mustang. Could this be the dawn where not only spacefarers, but also those with a yearning curiosity about the cosmos will take their first steps aboard Koerner's creation? They ponder, highlighting both economic tremors and dreams of an inclusive future. By May 29th, the whispers of disruption echo through Bremen's market district, where traditionalists fear a shake-up and visionaries see promise. while crowds convene in earnest outside Triple Cross Line's headquarters to hear Koerner addressing rumors with his Mustang ships that might just make or break their dreams. Some whisper of innovation beyond what Silas had planned for May 15th, promising not only a cheaper means into the cosmos, but also an era where spacefaring becomes accessible. How will this disruptive venture by Consolidated Outland affect our city's grip on tradition and status quo? They wonder, as skeptics speculate if Koerner's vision would render their own craft obsolete or invigorate a new wave of aspiring space explorers. In the heart of Bremen's bustling industrial sector, at the dawn of human colonization on distant worlds, emerged Consolidated Outland, a spacecraft development and manufacturing company founded in 2947 by Silas Koerner, a billionaire whose investments were as vast as they varied from mining operations to asteroid surveying fleets. His empire was built upon the dream of revolutionizing humanity's approach to travel through spacecraft engineering and design, starting with a visionary endeavor, the Mustang. This wasn't mere ambition. It became corporate legend when Silas Koerner disrupted market norms by introducing an affordable yet durable vessel that could weather the harsh void of deep space expeditions without compromising speed or safety, thanks to his innovative design and relentless pursuit for efficiency. Despite Bremen's political unrest due to recent resource conflicts with rival factions such as Nine Tails, the notorious pirate collective that thrived on the fringes of lawful sectors, Koerner managed a corporate synergy between his burgeoning industry and technological aspirations. His foray into space exploration was catalyzed by an unexpected surge in demand following Earth's desperate scramble to expand, fueled partly due to the political instability caused by years of strife within UEE against a backdrop where corporate giants like Hurston Dynamics and Crusader Industries monopolized many colonies. With his empire at stake in every trade route between planets, from Terra's lush agricultural bounty to the cold, metal-rich mines of micro-tech planetoid, Consolidated Outland was a critical piece not just for economic prosperity, but also as an emblematic beacon among advocates fighting against corporate exploitation. This venture came at considerable personal cost. Silas Koerner's private life remained shrouded in secrecy, the tabloids suggesting his wealth and influence provided him more than a comfortable existence. He lived it. On this day, May 15th of the year we'll call Anno Annum, 2947, Bremen's industrial sector is alight with an unprecedented energy. The heartbeat and clamor reverberate from within its steel-clad walls as Consolidated Outland reveals their latest creation, not just a spacecraft, but the very definition of revolution. The Mustang prototype by Silas Koerner. This billionaire's brainchild breaks away from conventional design philosophies to redefine affordability without compromising on spec. A month into its launch, rumors swirl faster than solar winds. Koerner's Mustang has not only captured market share, but upended entire economic models within the UEE space race. What were once luxury vessels have now morphed overnight. What does this mean for traditional manufacturers like Crusader Industries and Microtech? The ripple effects could extend beyond Bremen's economy, affecting every tier from minerals trading to freight logistics between planets. And the questions keep surfacing. Is Consolidated Outland's success a blessing or an ominous foreshadow of corporate monopoly and stifled innovation? Reflective gazes fix on data streams flowing in from across vast cosmic distances. While the bustling industries in Bremen have never seen such an upheaval, where once there were many spacecraft development firms, now only one towering monolith casts a long shadow. As we analyze charts and graphs of market share domestically owned by Consolidated Outland, since May 29th has told tales not just of economic disruption, but also hinted at societal rifts. Small businesses struggle as traditional shipyards crumble, where the proletariat's skills are tested. Is Koerner's affordable Mustang a harbinger for progress or an ominous marker towards corporate monopolies within this once tranquil industry? Bremen and beyond look on with bated breath as we ponder not only economic implications, but also the future of labor, craftsome troth, a testament to Koerner's bold leap into spacefaring enterprise. On this day, the air around Triple Cross Line's headquarters is thick with anticipation. Silas Koerner unveiled his brainchild, the Consolidated Outland Mustang, in a ceremony that signaled more than just another ship launch. It was an epochal moment for Bremen and its burgeoning space industry, casting long shadows over traditional manufacturing paradigms with the promise of affordable exploration. Who could have predicted how this one event would ripple across economies? As we dissect market shares from May Day launch to present day, it's apparent that Koerner's venture has not only captured significant ground, but challenged established players like ARC Corp and Crusader Industries. 6 months since the launch, and Consolidated Outland's Mustang has already become a legend in its own right. Market analysis reveals an undeniable shift. Traditional spacecraft suppliers are not just watching with bated breath, but actively scurrying for their next move, as Koerner's ship begins to dominate sectors once ruled by giants like ARC Corp and Crusader Industries. But what does this mean for the average citizen of Bremen, who have become part owners in these industrial titans? As we chart market shares against time, it becomes evident that not only has Koerner revolutionized space travel affordability, but also democratically involved ordinary citizens into an industry once shrouded with exclusivity and high entry barriers. A full year has passed since the launch of Koerner's Mustang, and its influence extends far beyond mere ship construction. Families that once gazed up at Bremen's stars with dreams are now charting courses not just across them, but to destinations affordable for all, thanks in part to this vessel, a symbol of how Consolidated Outland has reshaped the fabric of space exploration and human life therein. Reflect on May 15th, a day that heralded change. Now we look back at 1 year later, when dreams have materialized into affordable reality for many within Star Citizen's universe. Not just those with deep pockets, but every individual citizen who dared to imagine beyond the terrestrial. Bremen's industries, once bustling markets of exclusivity and high costs, now echo a different tune, one that resonates hope and inclusive exploration for all citizens. A full year has passed since the launch, and Consolidated Outland's Mustang is reshaping Bremen. Where once dreamers would only dare to gaze skyward at night from their small plots of land, or within factory walls under harsh lighting, now they see a future amongst stars. The influx of hopeful entrepreneurs, inspired by the affordability and quality craftsmanship of Koerner's, Mustang has not gone unnoticed in corporate boardrooms across Stalford. The ripples caused by Koerner's innovation extend far from their cradle. By September of the same year, Consolidated Outland's Mustang had not only redefined space travel affordability, but also inspired adaptations across a range of industries in nearby systems such as Terra and Stoneton. Traditional spaceship builders were facing an uphill battle for market share. The transformation is not just in shipbuilding techniques, but deeper societal shifts. By early December, over 50% of new entrants to the spacefaring sector came armed with a Mustang blueprint, breaking down barriers for what many feared would become an exclusive domain once held by those few wealthy enough to invest heavily into conventional vessels. Early December, a month now etched into the annals of space history, as over 50% of fresh recruits to our starbound fleets came aboard Mustang models. The launch site at Bremen's outskirts buzzed with an energy that had not been felt since Silas Koerner first laid eyes on his vision. A ship affordable enough for the average Joe, yet unmatched in versatility and durability. This wasn't merely a new entrant. This was hope incarnate, clasping onto reality's fabric at long last. With every Mustang sold, not only does Consolidated Outland's coffers swell, but so too do the prospects for those dreaming to break orbit. The streets once littered with uncertainty now hum a different tune. A harmony of aspiration and possibility echoes off cobblestone alleyways, as if Bremen itself whispers its readiness to join this new age. It's become clear that the Mustang's entrance isn't without consequence. Corporate titans such as Eternus Fleet Systems and Stardrive Engineering, once at the forefront of ship design on Earth, or in deep space fortresses like Triple Cross Lines, face an existential challenge. They must pivot strategies within months to retain their star-crossed fortunes. Meanwhile, Koerner's own enterprise dances delicately between disruptive innovation and the Titan's wrath. Imagine a world where cutting-edge crafts like Consolidated Outlands, Mustang not only revolutionize space travel, but also shake the very foundations of an economy. Born from Silas Koerner's vision, these vessels boast innovative designs and affordability unseen since their release date on January 1st in YT-49. What implications does this carry for corporate giants like Indust Fleet Systems? This very day at the bustling dockyards of Bremen witnessed a silent war waged beneath layers of steel and ambition. Here, Koerner's Mustang is not just metal, it's hope and disruption. As the first full moon of February rises over Bremen on March's cusp, does it reflect not just light, but also revelation? Indust Fleet Systems and StarDrive Engineering face dwindling market shares, their flagship designs dwarfed by Consolidated Outland's Mustang. Numbers from the fiscal quarter show a stark drop in orders for other manufacturers. What does this tell us about consumer choices? It whispers of change. It screams efficiency and affordability that Koerner has brought to these cold metal beasts. Consider the hands that forge these vessels. Their stories are as vast and varied as Bremen itself. The Mustang, while a corporate marvel from Koerner's end, is more than steel. It embodies human aspiration amidst its humble begin-o-magering on April 1 in YT-49, first breath of spring under the starlit sky, overlooked by factories and families whose future was rewritten with each weld. Workers once employed at traditional manufacturers are faced now, as if swept into a new dawn where their roles have evolved. Shifts changed for better or worse. The influx from Marsopolis has brought about the greatest paradigm shift in shipbuilding labor across all corporations since Consolidated Outland's entrance to light. The bustling industrial zone of Bremen, home to Consolidated Outland's factories and manufacturing hub. Here, where the city thrives under a perpetual neon-lit skyline symbolizing progress in an interstellar economy. Here, amidst the glow of neon-drenched skylines that never sleep, a city pulses with life at Bremen's heart. As I stand on this busy dockyard where future meets present craftsmanship in steel and circuits, home to Consolidated Outland's bustling shipyards, one can sense the gravity of change. But what are these vessels truly costing the laborers whose sweat oils their alloyed surfaces? As I witness this council chamber, where decisions reverberate through every seamstress thread and machinists bolt on Bremen, home to Consolidated Outland. Who remembers when these off-world settlements were more than just expansions? When Koerner's Mustang wasn't a symbol, not only for wealth, but also as harbingers of deep socio-economic rifts. Here in Zeta, where every choice between expansion and exploitation is etched into the daily lives. As I stand amidst this bustling dockyard on Bremen, witnessing the fusion of industry and innovation where once stood only simple shipyards. Here in Zeta, where every choice between expansion and exploitation is scrutinized under a hyper-competitive sky, the clanging hammers forge not just ships but futures. Behold the Mustang, whispers Silas Koerner as I enter his realm of steel-born dreams, where every surface gleams with promise. Yet beneath this sheen lies a truth. Each panel and circuit represents not just craftsmanship, but laborious struggle for many Bremen's forgotten workers, now redundant in the face of automation. In an era where austerity dictates our lives, I stand within the silent walls lined by tomes, each whispering tales of breaches in labor laws since Consolidated Outland's dawn. What have these corporate conquests done for us but erect barriers higher than Bremen's skyscrapers? Today marks not just another lecture hall event at this venerable institution. It commemorates the 25th year of a systemic divide, ever since Koerner's venture reshaped everything. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, where countless worlds spin silently in isolation, a daring vision took root. This is not merely about conquest but unity, a melding together under one banner to form what we now know as the Galactic Federation Council.